Across 3 generations, Clarins has stayed true to a philosophy of respect for nature and people and constant dialogue. What better inspiration for a sustainability talk show? Welcome to Clarins CSR Conversation. I'm Lindsay Tremuta, and we are here today, skipping the corporate approach, coming outside into Paris to have a real conversation about sustainability in beauty, caring for the planet, and for people. We're hosting this talk show because we wanted to have meaningful conversations about sustainability and what it means to 3 generations of the Clarins family in building for the future. So I'm really excited to be here today with Virginie Courtin, the Managing Director of Clarins Group, who's going to talk to us a little bit about what all of this means and what she's really excited about for the company's sustainability initiatives. And among that, there's a big announcement, no?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so Virginie, what is this big news you have to share today?
So I'm very happy and proud to tell you that now officially Clarins is a B-Corp certified company. So it means a lot to us, and I'm very proud of the involvement of all our team everywhere in the world, because you know B-Corp is one of the most demanding certifications worldwide. It was very challenging, especially for big companies like ours. So we are very proud to have reached and obtained this certification.
So this is a huge achievement, obviously, but what does it mean to you personally?
So, you know, what I'm the most proud of is that this certification recognizes all our efforts and all the action we have put in place for the last 70 years. But you know, at the end of the day, B Corp is not the finish line. For us, it just pushes us to go even further, to innovate and to keep on finding new solutions to have a positive impact on people and the planet.
It's hugely important. But I would still like to dig a little bit deeper into the B Corp process and the journey to get there. And so I think we have someone who'd be extremely well placed to talk about this. Can we welcome Guillaume Lescourege, Chief Sustainability Officer for Clarins?
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome. Thanks for being here. So Guillaume, this is a big process, a big effort to put forward for any company. What was the journey to get there to certification, and what was challenging about it?
There have been hundreds of challenges in this journey. For example, gathering and writing evidence for over 25,000 unique answers was a huge task. And given the size of Clarins, I'd like to compare each entity like a company itself, with slight differences. If I take the image of a race, we all start on the same line. Mm-hmm. We had to overcome different obstacles, and we absolutely had to finish at the same time, but with the same consistency. And we managed to achieve it.
And is this a multi-year process?
Yeah, I started the B Corp certification for myself more than 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And for all the people involved in the company, more than 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. So it really involves commitment and dedication and staying true, knowing that you're on the right path. So it's intense, but just how intense? I'd love to know. And so I believe we have a video from the B Lab to tell us about it from their point of view.
Congratulations, Clarins, on obtaining the B Corp certification. We know the time, the effort, the commitment it has taken from your teams, and we're really proud to welcome you into the B Corp community. I'd like to recognize the resilience of the team because I know it's been a long journey. A couple things stood out of the evaluation. The way Clarins enshrines sustainability topics into its long-term strategic decisions for the company has been really impressive. The care Clarins takes into long-term personal development programs for its employees has also been something to note. And finally, the quality of the production sites really stood out in the evaluation. Once again, we're really proud to welcome Clarins into the B Corp community. And we really look forward to the community supporting Clarins in its continuous improvement journey.
Wow, that video was fascinating. It really brought to life what you were describing about the intense process. But it's also fascinating to hear about what this means for Clarins as a company, and also what it might mean for a consumer who uses Clarins in their daily lives. So why would this be important to them?
having the B-Corp certification is really a mark of trust for clients because it shows them that we are really committed, that we really take action for both people and the planet. So, they can make sure that, when they are looking to buy products from some brand, that they are, carrying some strong values. So I think it's very important to, grow together with our customer in the path of having a positive impact.
And you have the people to back it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the one thing we want to get into now is about the people who make all this possible. So this would be a good time to hear from Chief People Officer Anne Essling.
Our people are the secret weapon behind our great products and our overall success. Creating the conditions to help them thrive at Clarins has always been a top priority for us. Through B-Corp, we were assessed on how we care for our employees around the world in all aspects of their professional journey. B-Corp is a wonderful acknowledgement and a true motivation to pursue our support.
I like that. People as Clarins' secret weapon. I think it's really great to see when a company is treating its employees well. And that brings this to life in a really tangible way, don't you think? So we've understood that B Corp is a major milestone for the company, but you're not stopping here, I'm assuming.
I think we have decided to remain ambitious as ever because the CSR roadmap decides to go on the highest level of commitment for Clarins. First, we are going to transform packaging. It remains a huge challenge for us, and we've decided that 1/4 of our sales in value will be made with refillable products. It's a huge step for us, and we think we can help consumers to switch to the refill gesture. I'm also thinking about agriculture. I visited many farms with severe damage due to extreme weather multiplied by climate change.
Sure.
And we need to be very cautious with farmers. We need to be at their side and help agriculture. So 5 years ago, we decided to go organic, and we go a step further with regenerative agriculture.
Interesting.
And maybe also huge steps in our value chain. We decided to introduce the living wage with our key suppliers. We encourage them to make a new step in this topic in every part of their activities.
So ensuring that your suppliers and your partners are providing a living wage to their teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really going far beyond Clarins' immediate office and going to outward.
We are like a community, and they need to be aligned with our commitment.
And Virginie, imagine you have a magic wand. This is a fun exercise. What do you wish for Clarins in the coming years?
My wish is to continue to be pioneer in CSR, because at the end of the day, we were one of the first ones to be truly committed, even before our clients were asking for transparency and commitment and proof of commitment. So I think that we have to always challenge ourselves to go further and to be the best in every possible ways. And I can take, for example, the sourcing, which is very important for us. We were already pioneer in responsible sourcing with a very demanding charter of responsible sourcing. But we went further with, kind of a little dream we had that we were becoming also farmers. We wanted to reinvent ourselves and reinvent the business model of cosmetics by growing our own plants, but also doing it in a regenerative way. So we started 8 years ago with what we call the Domen Clarins. We now have 2 Domens Clarins where we grow our own plants and we use them to put them in our formulas and our products to make sure that we offer to our customers the best ingredients for them, for the efficacy of our product, but also for the planet.
Wow.
Because you know, at the Domen Clarins, we do regenerative agriculture. And also, one of the commitments that we took is to have 1/3 of our plants coming from both Domen Clarins in the coming years.
Right in France.
Yes.
It was so lovely to have you both here. Thank you, Guillaume, for sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you, Lindsay.
And now I'd love to welcome, to talk about Domen Clarins, Sandrine Milesi, Active Ingredient Research Director at Clarins. Thanks for being here. So tell me a little bit about Domen Clarins. Is it as beautiful as the footage made it look?
I have to say, Lindsay, that our domain are incredible and very inspiring. And so we have the first domain. It is in the Alps, in the French Alps. And the place is amazing. It's in the middle of a mountain range. And it's quite difficult to reach this place because you have to walk 30 minutes through the forest, but it's quite amazing. And when you arrived in this place, you are in the epicenter of the nature.
Wow. So Virginie earlier mentioned a second domain. Where is that? Can you tell us about that?
The second domain is in the south of France, near the Camargue.
Oh, beautiful.
It's an amazing place also. Bigger place because it's 115 hectares.
Wow.
And this magnificent place is very particular because its history is very amazing because it suffered 2 forest fires.
Wow.
And so the objective in this domain is to restore the biodiversity and to restore the soil.
And how do you do that? How do you restore the biodiversity?
Yeah, in both domains, link to biodiversity is obvious. And so we decided to cultivate our plants with regenerative agricultural practices. And so this is an agriculture where the soil is the base. So you have to restore the soil. You have to grow some plant cover to nourish the soil. And then you have to plant some trees and hedges and everything that enhance the biodiversity.
Maybe also, Sandrine, we can mention something that we are very proud of if we just come back on the domain, is that we just obtained another certification that is called ROC, which means Regenerative Organic Certified. And it actually proves that what we do on the domain and the way we harvest our plant are really following the regenerative agriculture. And what is amazing for us is that we are the first cosmetic company to have this certification, so we are very proud. And our purpose is really to regenerate the soil and to actually make the soil even better than when we arrived.
That's super interesting on the soil. So I imagine you spend a lot of time in the field, but surely you're not cultivating all of the plants that Clarins uses.
Yeah, sure. This work on the domain is a part of a large approach of responsible sourcing. So in Clarins, we have almost 2,000 source of plants in a lot of countries, and so we have to check and validate our all aspects of environmental issue and also social issues. And for example, we cultivate organically, so our sourcing are organic certified. We work with the local population. They help us to grow and pick up our plants. And so we have to check the ethical trade with our partners. And so those environmental and social issues are monitored by Clarins teams.
Okay. Thank you, Sandrine, for sharing this expertise. It's clearly a huge part of what you guys are doing at Clarins.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandrine. So, Lindsay, because we were talking about the soil, I have a surprise guest for you.
Exciting.
I wanted to invite someone that is expert on the subject. So please welcome Arizona Muse.
Please join us. This is so exciting to have you here.
So Arizona is our first global CSR advocate for Clarins.
Fabulous.
And it's the first time that we actually have someone working with us on the subject and being able to talk about the subject. So I'm very happy to have Arizona because first of all, we have known each other for like 10 years, I think. And I've always...
Maybe 12, maybe.
Maybe. And I have always admired her dedication and her expertise on the subject. So now we are starting a new adventure together, and she will be able, to talk to many people about everything we do, challenge also the company on many things that we are doing, and it's a great partnership we are starting together.
It's an amazing partnership. I'm really impressed with Clarins for choosing this, and I think it's a very important part of the way forward for sustainability, for businesses to have an external advocate who comes in to be part of their sustainability team, look at their 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and also help to communicate about this very complex subject that is sometimes borderline boring. It's not always the most fascinating and resonant subject for everybody. It is for me, and I like to communicate about it so much. It's my favorite thing to do, to chat about sustainability. I could do it for hours. You'll probably have to shut me up on this. But I'm just really grateful that we can do this together.
But how did you get here then? Was there a turning point in your life that brought you to become this soil-obsessed advocate?
There was indeed. So it was about 10 years ago. I'd already been a model for a long time, and I realized I didn't know very much about where do our clothes come from? Where do our beauty products come from? Where do our shoes come from? That really started me on my learning journey, that is my sustainability journey, and has brought me here to where I am and to this very different lifestyle. I now live completely differently now that I understand the supply chain behind these products. Who made them? How many people touched this suit before it got to me? How many times it was wrapped in plastic packaging before it got to me? And I think that's the big question of our future, is how do we bring ourselves into a future where we humans become more conscious about the way we run our supply chains, the way we run our planet. And actually, my activism, my advocacy is the thing that keeps me going, because I do know a lot now. 10 years is a long time to be educating yourself, and I know a lot, and it doesn't look good, our future. It doesn't look pretty. It looks very polluted and very hard for billions of people, and extinction for many species.
So what is it in particular that led you to believe that this association was going to be a positive one, both for you and for Clarins?
It's so positive for me in that I get to use these 10 years of education and couple it with my 14 years of modeling. And this is amazing when this happens for me, because modeling is a very different side of me. I don't get to speak, and I can sometimes by modeling feel a bit like this. Whereas when I'm in my activism, I'm empowered and I love it, and I feel myself. And so when these two come together, and I know that the reason that I've been chosen for this is because I have both these sides.
Sure. I've
spent a lot of time in the core of the fashion industry and the beauty industry, and really understand how this industry works and have a profile there. But also, this knowledge is really valuable now, and that is what I'm so grateful for. So that's how it's working really well for me. And I think that for Clarins, correct me if you have anything to add to this, but for Clarins, it's really important to be able to communicate the sustainability changes in a really exciting way, in a way that's credible, that brings questions in, that it encourages a conversation. And these are all things that the feedback I receive is that this happens around me. And so this is what I think is the value between us, that we can really bring this out into the public in a way that hasn't happened yet, for good reasons. It's a big moment when a company decides to say, okay, we're going to communicate about our sustainability. It's a moment when criticism can arise, and you need to be ready, which you are so ready to start communicating about this because you've been working on it for years. And of course, we're being very careful to just talk about the things that we've done and to mention roadmaps and plans, but we're not celebrating things we haven't done. Because that's greenwashing, and no one wants to greenwash. We don't want to pat ourselves on the back and say, maybe one day we'll do that thing, but we haven't done it yet. That's not okay.
But this level of disclosure, from what I'm understanding, is quite rare then in skincare and beauty. What you're seeing from Clarins is kind of a best-in-class example.
Totally. You're pioneering the way. For a company your size and the volumes that you work with, it's really, really inspiring. And this is what I'm so proud of Clarins for being, is long-sighted. You were looking into the deep future and going, how can we belong in a deep future? And that's really powerful. So Lindsay, have you seen the Trust platform?
No.
At Clarins?
What is
let
that?
me show you. It's a really cool mechanism to allow people to see exactly where these products are from and where the ingredients are from. So this is the double serum, and we'll look at this example. So on the platform, it shows where the manufacturing happened, and then you can also, it's in France, in this case, and then you can also go down and see the ingredients. Look, this is harungana, and harungana was grown in Madagascar, and it tells you about the organic farm. It's really, really cool to have this level of traceability for products.
And if I can add,
Please.
what we are very proud of also with Trust is that we have put in Trust the blockchain technology to make sure that actually all the customers that are checking the traceability of their products and where the plants come from in our Clarins product, they have in their hands a safe and reliable information thanks to the blockchain technology. And I believe again that we were the first one to use blockchain technology for the traceability of our products. And we will continue to develop Trust, of course, and to incorporate all our products into the platform and all our ingredients.
So the blockchain helps protect the information?
Yes,
Okay.
because once the farmers, the suppliers enters the information, us as a company, we cannot touch it because it's safe
see.
and locked by the blockchain technology.
I mean, this is incredible.
That's really cool.
Arizona, you are a wealth of information, and clearly we could keep talking about this forever. But I think this is just the beginning of this conversation, and we'd love to have you back to go deeper next time.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. As I said at the beginning, I could just carry on for hours and we could have an hours-long conversation, but it's good to start small. And thank you so much for having me. So nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Very soon,
Enjoy the
Arizona.
rest of your chat.
Virginie, we've heard a lot about how Clarins works and the ways of working and the ways of building for this future, but what about partnerships? Because from what I understand, that's another big piece of this puzzle.
Yes, you're right, Lindsay. So for us, it's all about going beyond beauty. And it means that for us, beauty is nothing if not accompanied by humanity and generosity. So that's why we are very focused on supporting 3 causes at Clarins, which are biodiversity, healthcare, and children. So biodiversity, we are supporting many different initiatives and associations around the world. For example, Plastic Odyssey, Seeds of Beauty, etc. In healthcare, we are supporting different initiatives as well. For example, Look Good, Feel Better or the Fondation Arthritis. And regarding the children, we are also supporting many different initiative and association. But I want maybe to mention one that is very close to my heart.
Please do.
That is the partnership that we have with Mary's Meals. Mary's Meal is a fantastic organization who is providing school meals in the poorest countries in the world to children that are in need, that don't eat enough and that sometimes don't go to school as well.
And I think we have a special message from the founder of Mary's Meals. Let's take a look.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone at Clarins for this incredible partnership, this incredible commitment to feed 3 million children in school every year during our partnership, enabling us to make a beautiful film to celebrate our 10th anniversary in Zambia. You are a huge part of this beautiful Mary's Meals story. Over 2.6 million children eating Mary's Meals at school each school day, their futures being transformed. And on behalf of all of them, I thank you, all of you at Clarins, with all my heart.
I mean, that was so lovely, those words from Magnus. What drew Clarins to this cause in particular? Because I'm sure working with children, there are plenty you could have chosen. So what is it about this one?
We are very proud to support Mary's Meals because, it responds to this double emergency of feeding children in need and at the same time encouraging the parents to take the children to school. And it has a real impact because the children are the future of the world. So we need to protect them, we need to help them, we need to feed them. And you know, when we started to finance school meals, it started in 2011 actually.
Wow.
And since then, we have already distributed 45 million school meals around the world with this partnership. So we are very proud to be able to continue with Mary's Meals, and we are committed to actually finance at least 3 million school meals per year.
I mean, that's incredible. Those are some very staggering figures and a lot of food that's been distributed. That's fantastic. So I have to say, I'm feeling very speechless because it sounds like everything you're doing is really working to build a better future. And you're talking about children and them being the future. And so you're working to try to ensure that there is a planet and an environment for them to also care for. So this is really special to see and to hear. And I think this is hopefully just the beginning of these sorts of projects.
So you know, Lindsay, I'm very proud to have all of those amazing people, the one here, but also everyone in Clarins, at Clarins, working in all our CSR initiative, and to push us to go always further to our commitment and our action, and to do, you know, as my grandfather said, to always do more, do better, and enjoy doing so.